My fiancée said no to a prenup. Her daughter said I'd regret leaving them. 3 months later, I watched their gold-digging scheme fall apart. Hello, Reddit I+ here. I never imagined I'd be posting here, but after everything that's gone down, I need an outside perspective, if only to feel sane again. I, 34, was engaged to Marlene, 37, who has a 16-year-old daughter, Lila. We met about 2 years ago at an art walk in San Diego. She was showcasing her daughter's photography, and I stopped to compliment a piece. We talked for over an hour. She had this calm, grounded energy, claimed she'd been through a rough divorce, and was just now getting back to stability. I found that admirable. I'm self-employed in tech, financially stable, own my house outright, and had sold a small startup in my late 20s. I live pretty modestly and keep a low profile, but I've worked hard for everything I have. I've also seen friends get screwed over in divorces. So when things started getting serious with Marlene, I knew a prenup would be non-negotiable. Fast forward about a year into our relationship, Marlene and Lila moved into my home. Things were good. At least I thought so. Lila could be a bit pushy and nosy. She once asked me how much my stocks were worth for a school project, but I brushed it off as teenager stuff. A few months later, I proposed. Nothing extravagant, just a quiet moment on the Oregon coast, just the two of us. She cried, said yes, kissed me like a movie scene. For a while, I felt like the luckiest guy alive. Then came the prenup talk. I brought it up gently, calmly, and clearly. I just want us both protected, and for this to be about us, not money. I even offered to have it written so she'd get a fair settlement if things ever ended. I wasn't trying to lock her out of anything. I just wanted the house, my business earnings from before the relationship, and some investment accounts to stay mine. But she lost it. She accused me of not trusting her. Said if I truly loved her, I wouldn't need one. Told me she was not that kind of woman and that I must think she was a gold digger. She even said something like, "You knew I had a kid when we started dating. Do you not trust her either?" I tried to de-escalate, but the whole vibe shifted. She wouldn't drop it. A couple of days later, she left a printed article on my kitchen counter titled, "Prenups, the First Step Toward Divorce." Subtle. I didn't push again. I wish I had. Then about a month before the wedding, she started bringing up joint accounts, wanted to merge checking accounts to make wedding planning easier. I declined politely and said we could manage just fine with separate ones until the wedding was done. Cue round 2 of emotional warfare. She accused me of hiding things, said I was controlling. Then Lila jumped in. "I kid you not," she told me, straight-faced. "You'll regret walking away from us. One day you'll see what you gave up." I swear it didn't sound like advice. It felt like a threat. That night, I checked our shared home office and noticed a drawer that had been rummaged through. It's where I kept some of my older tax returns, investment documents, and an old file with SSN copies. I know. Stupid to keep that stuff in the house, let alone unlocked. I confronted her. She played dumb, claimed she was just organizing. My gut screamed that something was wrong, so I quietly called off the wedding, canceled the venue, the catering, everything, without telling her right away. Then I packed a bag, booked an Airbnb, and told her I needed a break. She went off, dozens of missed calls, voicemails alternating between sobbing and screaming. Lila sent me a message from Marlene's phone. "You fucked up. Hope your house keeps you warm at night." That was 3 months ago. I blocked them both, thought that would be the end of it. Spoiler, it wasn't. 3 weeks ago, an old college buddy of mine, who works at a credit union, called me out of the blue. He couldn't give details for legal reasons, but said, "You might want to check your credit report soon." So I did. There were 2 loan applications made in my name, one for a student loan and another for a small auto loan. Both flagged as co-signed. My stomach dropped. I hired a lawyer and a private investigator. We found that someone, guess who, had used my name and an old SSN copy to try and co-sign Lila onto a private student loan and then a car loan. When that failed, they tried applying for lines of credit using my info, with slight misspellings of my name. And it gets worse. During the investigation, my lawyer gained access to text messages between Marlene and a friend. They talked openly about how she was lining up the future and just needed to get past the ceremony. One line that hit me like a truck. "Once we're married, I can finally stop pretending to be chill about money." There were also messages from Lila, one saying, "I can't believe he's not letting us in. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna say I'm pregnant or some shti. We need this." Y'all, I felt numb. Every kiss, every night watching TV on the couch, every "I love you." Was any of it real? My lawyer submitted everything to the authorities. They're being investigated for attempted identity theft and fraud. Marlene hasn't contacted me again directly, but she did send an email. Subject line: I'm sorry. Inside she wrote, I know you hate me, but I wasn't trying to hurt you. I just didn't want to end up back in the hole. I thought we could build something and, yes, I made mistakes, but you overreacted. You could have trusted me. We were almost there. Almost where exactly? I didn't respond. I never will. After hiring the private investigator and handing over evidence to my lawyer, we got a full picture of what they were doing. It turned out they hadn't just tried to apply for loans, they had actively forged my signature on 2 notarized documents they downloaded from some shady website. One was a fake co-signing agreement, where I supposedly authorized Lila to use my credit line for educational purposes. The second, a draft of a revocable living trust with Marlene and Lila listed as beneficiaries. They never filed it anywhere official, but the fact they had this kind of paperwork in place and were rehearsing for the future? Yeah, it was never about love. It was a con in slow motion. My lawyer presented everything to the DA's office. And a few weeks ago, they finally decided to move forward with felony charges: attempted identity theft, fraudulent misrepresentation, possession of falsified documents, conspiracy to commit financial fraud. Yes, even Lila, who's 16, is being investigated, though they're treating her as a juvenile. That part still messes with my head. I genuinely thought of her as family. I was the guy who helped her build her website for her photography portfolio. I took her to her first concert. I sat through 3 school presentations where she called me her bonus dad. That same kid then turned around and forged my name on a $22,000 student loan. Marlene, for what it's worth, tried to fight the charges. Claimed she had no idea what Lila was doing. Said she was just a mom trying to protect her daughter's future. When the DA asked her how my signature ended up on the fake documents and why she was texting her sister about locking down the future, she suddenly needed a lawyer of her own. Apparently, her ex-husband also came forward with his own concerns after he saw the news. She allegedly drained one of his retirement accounts during their divorce and tried to get child support backdated while he was unemployed. So now, that's 2 men she tried to financially destroy. Let's talk emotionally. People keep asking how I feel. Some days I feel nothing. Other days I cycle between rage, shame, and heartbreak. You don't realize how much it messes with your head to sleep next to someone you loved, someone you trusted with your passwords, someone who cooked you chicken soup when you were sick, only to find out they were mapping an exit strategy the whole time. It's not just betrayal, it's psychological warfare. I replay moments and see all the signs I ignored. Her insisting on knowing when my investment accounts hit certain milestones. Her pushing for what's yours is ours the minute the ring was on. Lila asking what would happen to my house if I died without a will. All of it was there. I just didn't want to believe it. Therapy has been helpful. I've been seeing someone weekly to process the trauma. My trust issues are now officially Olympic level, but I'm working on it. I've also frozen my credit, updated every financial password, and changed my will to state that no one not already on it will ever be added again without legal review. If there's any silver lining, it's this. I got out before it was too late. No marriage, no shared accounts, no legal ties, no baby. Thank God they didn't pull that stunt. As for the regret Lila said I'd feel, nah, I don't regret walking away. I regret letting them in to begin with.